Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily. It's Friday, the weekend is upon us, and it always is a pleasant show to do on a Friday. And we've got big news. Griezmann's on there, which is fantastic. We don't want him to disappear from our transfer news. Not spoke about him for a few days, and obviously a few others and a little bit obscure ones as well. So lots to get into. Real fan opinion on it. Don't forget to comment below and give us your thoughts. Really interesting views coming up. But let's start off with Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann has declared where he'd like to play if he leaves Atletico Madrid. And you know what? I'm not even going to mug you off. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek because Antoine Griezmann has said the only place he'd leave Atletico Madrid for is the New York Knicks to play with Steve Rose, is it? Which I think they play basketball. So nice of Antoine there. But you know what? In all seriousness, I've not really been looking at the Griezmann deal for a while. I still really do think it's going to be happening. I think obviously a lot depends on whether we can beat Ajax in that semi-final on Wednesday. But £89 million is going to cost that anyway. We're going to break the record to sign Griezmann. Atletico Madrid are powerless when the release clause is reached. So it'll be Griezmann's decision as whether he wants to leave Atletico Madrid and come to Manchester United. That's the bottom line. Atletico Madrid cannot do anything about it. So that's important to remember. Another thing to put that's really important to remember as well is that England play France on the 13th of June, and Griezmann was called up to the French squad as expected yesterday. So would that deal hinder him coming to Manchester United? I've heard, speaking to a few people, they think, well, the deal's not going to happen until middle to end of June, which I suppose is okay. But once the internationals are done, he'll go on holiday. Then is it July? I personally do think it could happen any time after next Wednesday. The international break, they're friendlies. It doesn't stop people signing. We've seen that happen before in major tournaments, so I don't think that will have anything to do with it. And yes, I'm still very confident that Antoine Griezmann will come to Manchester United. If you've been watching my Manchester United FIFA 17 career mode, Mark Goldbridge, just search it on YouTube, you'll see it yesterday. I do FIFA realistically, and most of the team is current players, but I've added a few, I think 3 or 4, and Griezmann's one, and that's exactly where I'd play Griezmann for Manchester United, and he's on fire. So yes, Griezmann to Manchester United, yes please. Now, this broke yesterday. However, I've got to sort of give a bit of a shout out to somebody. Robin will know who I mean if he's watching. He did message me the other day and say that Robin is an untested source, and he said to me the other day that the Rodriguez deal probably isn't going to happen, but the Bale deal Bale is more open to it than many think, and Manchester United are after Nainggolan, and I'll probably pronounce that wrong, and also that Varane really wants to work with Mourinho again, but he will respect what Real Madrid want. So if Real Madrid want to sell him, he's probably going to come. If they don't, he'll end up staying. But Nainggolan, obviously that broke yesterday on Sky Sports. Now, Di Marzio has said, and that's the one I would listen to, that Manchester United are interested in Raji Nainggolan, who is at Roma, and he's a centre defensive midfielder. Be perfect for what we need, to be honest. I'd love him at Manchester United. But he's not interested in moving. I don't expect that anything will come of this deal. He is contracted to Roma till 2020, so it's a few years away. 29, I think he's just turned 29 years of age. So much like Matuidi, I wouldn't have a problem with him coming. We've got Fosu Mensah up and coming, so it'd be perfect sort of, for Fosu Mensah to learn from, because we haven't really got that experienced sort of destroyer in the midfield. But apparently he's a smoker. Apparently he's a bit of a party animal, and he's still a fantastic player. So I'd like him at Manchester United, but it's the second time in the last few months we've mentioned Nainggolan, and it's the second time I've said that apparently he's happy in Roma and doesn't want to move. So Manchester United and Chelsea interested in him. I don't think anything's going to happen there. However, Bernardo Silva is a player we've mentioned before, 22 years of age, winger, sort of stroke number 10 at Monaco. He has publicly said, officially, that anything is possible this summer, and he'll see how he feels in the summer. Manchester United apparently quite interested in. Would you want Bernardo Silva at Manchester United? I think he's a bit like James Rodriguez, really. I think he's a slightly better matter, and it's probably not a position for me that I'd be looking to improve on. I mean, he is relatively fast, but I don't think he's got the pace on the wing that we actually need. And I think he's the sort of signing that, like James Rodriguez, if we signed him, I'd be excited. But I don't think it's the position that we really need to be prioritising and spending £50 million on, because that's what Silva would cost, much the same as Rodriguez. we need a centre-back, we need a centre-defensive midfielder, we need a number 9, we need a number 10, we might need a goalkeeper, we potentially need a left-back, we need a fast winger. We don't necessarily need a better Mata yet, and I think it's a signing that we probably don't need to make, but I have to mention it because he's open to a move, and that's always quite interesting. So doesn't mean he's going to come to Manchester United, of course, but obviously he's a player that we've been linked with, and many people like Bernardo Silva. He's been a magician. They call him he's Portuguese as well. I can't remember who he's. It's probably George Mendes. I wouldn't like to say, but if it is George Mendes, then again that's the Mourinho link. But they call him the Monaco Messi. I don't quite know whether he's that good, but definitely a player of interest. And another player who apparently is open to a move is Eric Dyer, who Manchester United have been linked with quite a lot recently. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself there. Very rude. Now, he's contracted to Spurs till 2021. He's only just turned 23. I was very impressed with him in the Euros, but I don't know. As our central defensive midfielder, I don't think he's in the Kante stroke Fabinho stroke Bakayoko stroke Matuidi stroke Kessie role. He just doesn't. To me, he hasn't got that low centre of gravity, tenacious athleticism, where I think he's more, he can play centre-back, he does break up the play well, but he doesn't get around as quick. I think we need somebody, Nagongolan, obviously we've mentioned as well, somebody who gets around the ground quick, a little terrier sort of thing, get the ball, win the ball, pass it off to the better players. And Eric Dyer, for me, just doesn't get around the pitch quick enough. If Mourinho thinks he's the right man, that's fine. I really was impressed with him in the Euros last year and at Spurs last year, but I don't think he's had such a great season this year. Although I haven't watched a lot of him, he just hasn't really. I think he's not been playing in the position that I'd like to see him as a centre defensive midfielder. But no, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about Eric Dyer. So give us your thoughts on that one. I also want to just bring it back to David De Gea, because obviously yesterday the story was that De Gea was going to stay from Mourinho, but actually and I misheard it, and I think a lot of people might have misheard it and read it. What Mourinho actually said is that David De Gea's next game will be LA Galaxy in July. But when you read the comments, it's not will be, it's we hope it to be. We want to have a goalkeeper like this, and hopefully he won't go. And that surprised me when I read it last night, because it was like I thought it was very firm from Mourinho, he will be. But when you read the actual quotes, there's a lot of scope in there. Now, obviously, I believe that De Gea is going, and I don't want that to happen. And I believe that Mourinho is sort of tactically making out that he can stay and we don't want him to go, etc., when actually he knows full well that he's going. And I personally believe that the fact that De Gea's last game was a meaningless, poor game at Spurs away, when he should be having Crystal Palace at the weekend as his goodbye game, I think that's depriving somebody of something that they deserve. And I hope I'm proved wrong, but I disagree with Mourinho on that. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think Mourinho's fully aware that De Gea is going to go, and obviously he's sort of hardballing a bit with Madrid. You're not going to get him easy. We want a decent price. De Gea obviously has indicated that he wants to go, and I think Mourinho knows full well he's going, and I think he should be playing on Sunday, because that's ultimately we've already seen De Gea in his last game in the United shirt, and he deserves better than that. 100% deserves better than that. We've all been there for the last 3 years under Moyes and Van Gaal, and De Gea was just exceptional, world class. He definitely deserves to be playing in the last game and getting the applause that he's going to get, and hopefully Rooney's going to get as well, because I think it'll be his last game. So yeah, but when you look back on it on Mourinho, it's not as firm as even I thought it was, that he'll play in that LA Galaxy game. It's like we hope him to, hopefully he'll be here. We don't want to lose goalkeepers like that. So, and also, if De Gea does go, we have to sign a top goalkeeper. And the one thing Mourinho did say is we've got a fantastic young goalkeeper, Pereira. We've got 2 really good goalkeepers, and that's what every club should have. So we've got Romero, he will stay. So even if De Gea goes, he's going to have to get somebody else in. I don't think he's going to go Romero and then the young goalkeeper. He's going to get somebody else in, which is very encouraging, because I think Romero's been fantastic this season. But if I was asked, and I'll ask it to you lot, would you take Romero as your first choice goalkeeper in the Premier League next year? And I think a lot of you would. I wouldn't for this, because if you watch Romero, I think in over 38 games in the Premier League, he would cost us points, because there's a lot of crosses in the Premier League. He's not been playing much Premier League football this year. Even against Southampton, we saw it. Europa League's fine, it's different football, but in the Premier League there's a lot of crosses coming in, and he punches virtually every cross, and in the Premier League you get exploited doing that. So that would be my concern about Romero. I think he's fine in European games, but in Premier League games I think he'd get sussed out. They just say put high balls in around him, and because he can't catch it, that makes him weak. So I wouldn't want him as our first choice keeper. And I think you know, there's a big difference between De Gea and Romero. We're very lucky to have Romero as a backup goalkeeper, but I think we'd need somebody better than that. Anything else I wanted to discuss? Let me have a think. De Gea's been done. Yeah, a little bit about Marquinhos at PSG. I'd like us to sign him. Rumblings. I mean, we've already covered it, but you know, again, I was told something yesterday that is a deal that Manchester United really do want to do. I think, to be honest, Mourinho would want Varane, and it's whether Real Madrid would want to let Varane go. I probably would suspect not, because Pepe is probably going to go this summer. So where they're going to get two centre backs from, Real Madrid. The problem with getting Varane is I think Varane wants to play with Mourinho. But do Real Madrid want Varane to go? Obviously, they've got Ramos, but it's the problem we've got. If Varane left Real Madrid, who are they going to sign? They're going to want a top centre-back. And to be honest, there's not that many out there. So why would they let Varane go? I don't think that'll happen. Unless they get Marquinhos and we get Varane. Who knows? Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. It is the Transfer Daily, as you know, every day, 7 AM. Be back tonight with the preview for the Crystal Palace game. That's going to be interesting, trying to predict an 11 out of that with all these kids playing. That's going to be probably the most challenging preview of the year. But I look forward to that at 8:30. We'll have another transfer show for you tomorrow. It's normally in the morning. I do it live on a Saturday. Normally do it about 10 AM or 11 AM. We'll see how we go. But yeah, drop a like on the video. Get commenting below. And thanks for everybody for supporting the Transfer Daily show all week. And yeah. It's great. I think it's here to stay. I don't know what you lot think, but I think it should be here to stay. All the way through till August. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. The weekend is here. And we are what? 5 days away from this big game. Oh, God, it makes me shudder. We've got to win. We've got to win. Still here.